Hi everyone, welcome back, or if you're new here, hi, I'm Faye. I like makeup. Today we're talking about bridal makeup. I'm going to take you through exactly what I did for my own wedding, and I'll talk you through the products and my choices and why I did what I did as we go. So let's just get started. Now, I've prepped my skin with the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturising Lotion Plus, long name, but only the tiniest amount, because this stuff is really rich. Now I'm using a more matte, stiff formula foundation, so I need something, oh my god, I need something for the makeup to blend into that has a tiny bit of slip on the face, but you don't want to use loads of this because otherwise you will look like a greasy mess and your makeup will just slide right off your face. Moving on to foundation, and I use the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. Now I have the shades 2 and 3, and I mix them together because I'm in between. It's a bit extra to have 2 shades of foundation, but on your wedding day, you do want your face and your neck and everything to match perfectly. So I'm just gonna mix them together. So if you've watched my video where I compare the Charlotte Tilbury foundations, you'll know that I think applying this with a brush is the only way. It's a really lovely foundation, but it has a bit of a stiff formula, so a brush really helps blend it. A sponge typically makes this look patchy on me personally. I don't think it's a very good way to apply this foundation. And you've got to work kind of quick because it does dry down to a kind of demi matte finish, which is why I've got that hydrating moisturizer on underneath. Just taking it down the neck so that everything blends into one and it doesn't look like I'm got a floating head on a separate neck or anything like that. I'm just adding a tiny bit more coverage on my cheek hair where I get kind of red. More of a problem right now than when I actually got married, because I got married in December, whereas here today it's kind of warm. I'm a little bit flush. Now I am quickly going to take a sponge and just pop over the nose area where it's kind of hard to blend with a brush, and around the eye here. That's the foundation done. It's a really nice foundation, wears really well, doesn't sink into smile lines, doesn't cause flashbacks, so overall a very good special occasion foundation. Now I'm going to do 2 stages for concealer. I'm going to colour correct with this. Is the Darkcircle concealer cream from Skinfood. This is the shade 1, and this is really good for cancelling out dark circles. So I'm just going to tap a bit on the back of my hand with my finger, and then apply with my finger where I get the darkness and the blueness here on the inner corners. While that dries down, I'm going to do my concealer for blemishes. This is the Cover Pang concealer. Doesn't have the name of the brand on it, but I think it's from Repute. I will put it in the description box down below. And this is a really good skin tone match to me, like just a skin colour match. So a little dark for under the eyes, but on blemishes it's really good. Now I have this here. I'm not even going to bother trying to cover it. It's a mosquito bite. We're just going to pretend it's not there. But I'm going to put a little bit of this on my actual blemishes. Move this mirror a bit closer. Moving on to my under eye concealer, I have the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer in shade 0N. And this is really thick and kind of heavy, so I'm going to apply some to the back of my hand, not directly onto my under eyes, and I'm going to apply it with a sponge. So I'm just going to take the tip, dip it in the concealer, and then apply it very lightly on the under eye, just to brighten, but so there's not a ton of concealer under there, because really if you want your makeup to look nice for a long time, just last really well, the best thing you can do is use as little product as possible, because the more product you use, the more crunchy it's going to look over time, or the more greasy depending on your skin type. The more your under eye concealer will crease if you have a lot of concealer under there. So just go in with full coverage products and use a tiny amount of them. That I feel is the best way personally. And we're all concealed. I think we're done with the concealer. I don't want to put too much on. So moving on to our other cream products, I have cream highlight, cream bronzer, and cream blush. Now I really like cream products. They give a really natural, glowy, healthy look, and I am going to set them with powder so that they last longer. But I'm going to start with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Beauty Light Wand in Spotlight. I hate the packaging of this. I hate these types of squeezy tubes. Too much always comes out, but it's a really good highlighter, so it's worth, you know, the hassle. So I'm just going to squeeze a bit of this onto my palette. And how I like to apply this is just to take some on my finger, like this. I'm going to transfer over to the other finger, and then I'm going to tap at the same time on both cheeks, like this. And obviously then I'm going to look in the mirror to make sure I'm actually blending it nicely. I'm going to use a little bit more, but I'm not going to use too much, because here's the thing with me and what I wanted for my bridal makeup look. I really wanted something that was kind of timeless. Something where if I show my grandkids in like 50 years when I'm really, really old, my wedding photos, they're not going to be like, why did you do that? So I'm trying to stay away from any like really big like trends. So I'm using highlight, but I'm trying to use it not too like overboard, not too like unnatural. So I stayed away from doing anything like crazy with my brows, for example. They're not going to be super bold, they're not going to be super fluffy. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay away from anything that in, you know, 10, 15, 20 years might look really, really like weird and dated and out of fashion. Now, I had two other aims for my makeup as well as it being kind of timeless. I wanted to look like myself, and this is one of the reasons I didn't want someone else to come and do my makeup, because they might do a really good job, but then I still feel at the end of it like I don't look like me. And I just want to look like me. I want to look like myself on my wedding day. For that reason, I'm also not going to be doing any like crazy overlining of the lips or anything like that. Just want it to look like me, my lips, my face, just slightly perfected. And my other aim was to not have the makeup be a feature. Like, I don't want people to comment on the makeup. I just want people to see me. Because some makeup looks are really classic, like a black winged eyeliner, red lip, but they're very bold. It's sort of statement makeup almost, where people are going to see the makeup and comment on the makeup, even if it's a really nice comment, but it's there, it's kind of obvious and present. And I wanted the makeup to just fade into the background really, and not be something that people commented on, not be something that people really noticed. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of cream bronzer. This is the Fenty Beauty one. I have two Butter Biscuit, so I'm just using another sort of foundation-y cream blush kind of brush, and I'm going to brush it off on the back of my hand because I don't want like a crazy amount of product on my face. I think if you're doing your makeup for a special occasion, it's really worth taking the time to use a palette, use the back of your hand, tap the product off, go in a little bit at a time, carefully, and build rather than going straight onto your face. I think it creates a much more seamless, beautiful look. A little bit here on the top of the cheekbones. Sorry, my hair's getting in the makeup. I know that's really annoying. So I had my hair done on the day by a professional, because I am not a hair person. Like, really, I am not a hair person. My hair is just always in like a ponytail, or these clip things that are apparently now back in. Like, I remember when they were fashionable last time and then they were uncool, and now apparently they're like in again. But I don't mind, they're really convenient. So if people say that they're cool again, then I'm happy with that. So just putting a little bronzer on my nose, and I think again that's it. Again, I'm not trying not to go in too heavy-handed with any particular product. Then I have cream blush. This is the Bare Blush Supercheek blush from Beauty Pie, and I promise this is a clean sponge. It's just really stained. So again, I'm going in with the sponge, and then I'm going to go on the back of my hand, and because it's quite an intense blush, I'm just going to tap the product off before I go in on the cheeks. Now, I'm someone who really likes blush. and I tend to go a bit heavy-handed with blush in my daily life. So I'm really trying for my bridal makeup to not go completely mental with it. I think I succeeded. I think the photos, they look nice. I like to take a bit of blush up onto the forehead because for me personally, as a pale person, when I tan, I do go a bit red, not just brown. And so sometimes if I just have like bronzer, it looks a bit unnatural. So I like to add a little blush in to make it a little bit more red toned. I think, I keep looking at the mirror rather than you, I'm sorry, I need to see what I'm doing. But I think that is enough of the blush as well. So now we've done all of our cream products, we're going to move into powder products. So first I'm going to set my under eyes. Now I do not set anymore the rest of my face. I used to set my entire face with powder, and now I don't like to do that. I find it's better if I use a more matte foundation like this one and then just leave it. I don't set it. Well, I mean, I use setting spray, but I don't set it with a powder. So taking my little Real Techniques brush, and I love this powder. You can see I really like it. I've used it quite a lot. And I'm going to really tap the brush off and then gently just tap it where I want it. So all I'm going to set is the eye area and then just here onto the cheek. What I like about not setting my makeup with a lot of powder is that if my foundation shifts, like I have a lot of movement here around my mouth, like I have smile lines, my skin is always stretching and going back and forward as I talk. I tend to get a bit of separation, not like oily separation, but just the foundation gets a little bit textured because of the way my face is moving all the time. And then if it's not powdered, I can go in and blend it back out just with a finger, just, you know, fix the smile lines, fix whatever. If it's set with a powder, I really can't do anything about what happens to it. Like if it starts looking a bit funky, it moves around and starts looking a bit weird, but it's set, then I can't go in and like re-blend it or anything. It's just stuck like that. So that's one of the reasons I now don't set with powder. And then I'm going to take a little bit just here. Right, I'm going to go in with powder highlight. This is a Laura Mercier. What is it? It's called the Matte Radiance Baked Powder, but this isn't matte. This is shade Highlight 01. My usual highlight brush is in the washing pile, so I'm just going to use this one. So I'm just going to gently tap a little bit on top here with my brush. It's also going to cover up that line where my powder sort of hit the cream highlight and mattified it out a little bit. This is such a nice highlight. I've had this highlight for the longest time and it's still like my favorite powder highlight. Like, to be honest, I'm more of a cream highlight person, but this powder highlight is so nice. Like, it doesn't look chunky, it just looks so pretty on the skin. So blush, I also did set with some powder. I used one of the blushes from this Glow All Super Powder Face palette from Beauty Pie. I have mixed feelings about this palette. These three are good and the highlight's just really not good. So I'm going to use this one. This is the most similar colour to my blush, wherever I put it. Yeah, here's my blush. And I'm using a big fluffy brush because I want it to be sort of dispersed rather than too concentrated on any one spot. I like to have my blush quite dispersed because I have get off. I have quite an angular face. Like, my face angles are quite harsh, and if I put my blush in like a too precise of an area, it just contributes to that more sort of angular look. And so I like to disperse it so that it just looks a bit more like flushed and sort of natural and glowy and makes my face a little softer. I am also using just a tiny bit of powder contour. This is the Kevyn Aucoin, the Sculpting Powder in Light. So just a tiny bit. All I'm doing is putting a little bit under the cheekbones. We can now move on to the eye makeup. Okay, so I didn't do very much with my eyes. Again, I wanted just a really subtle, classic look that no one would really pay much attention to. So I started out with the Full Shot routine palette from Apew. This is the shade Sulky Bunny. I'm going to take this cream and just put this all over the eyelid so that everything else will blend nicely on top of it. By the way, if you're wondering why I have one grey nail, it's because I broke my nail really badly, and the only thing I could think to do to hold it together was to do one of those dip powder nails, which if you've ever done, you will know is like rock solid. Like those dip powder nails are like no joke. It's really hard to get them off. But that's what I thought, oh, I can do that to hold my nail together. And then I didn't have time to do the rest of my nails, so I just have one nail. Okay, I'm going to use the pink from this same palette to define the crease. I'm just trying to keep everything really subtle. And the reason I actually chose Korean eyeshadows to use on my wedding day instead of Western eyeshadows is that they tend to be less pigmented. And you know, quality of eyeshadow isn't all about how much pigment is in the product. Sometimes you actually want a product to be less pigmented, and just as long as it blends nicely, sometimes it's really nice just to have a less pigmented eyeshadow that you can build, that you can create really subtle looks with. Because on my wedding day I didn't want something really bold, really pigmented, just something light, just something that gives a little sort of delicate look. Yeah, that's probably the right word, delicate. I'm also going to take a little bit of that pink on the lower lash line. I feel like I make such a weird like position when I'm doing this. Now personally I find the brown from this palette to be a bit too cool toned, so I'm going to take a different palette for a brown. This is the Etude House Peach Farm Play Colour Eyes, and I'm just going to use the brown, the very first colour there. That's all I'm going to use from this palette. Just take the same brush, and this time I'm going to concentrate it a little bit more. The pink was more blown out, the brown is just going to be a little bit more concentrated in the crease. Again, I'm going to take a little bit on the lower lash line, just the outer corner though, and then I am going to tap a little bit of brown just on the outer edge, like this little V area. Going back to my powder highlight, I'm going to use this on the inner corner and then drag it in a little bit onto the eyelid. I'm not doing any like sparkly eyeshadow, no glitter, nothing like that, just very natural, very simple, very plain. Some people might think it's boring, but personally I think for your wedding day it's okay if your makeup is a little bit boring. You just want it to look nice, right? Just nice. Quickly sharpen my eyeliner before I use it. This is the MAC eyeliner. What colour is it? It's a brown colour. Costa Riche. Just their eye kohl. And I'm just going to do a very thin line on the upper lash line. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing. I need a mirror. And I'm not going to do a wing, but I am going to just extend it the tiniest bit on the end. And I'm also going to do the tight line. Oh, I hate doing the tight line. Ugh. But it does It does make a difference, so I suffer through it. And apart from mascara, that is basically the eyes done. That's it, nothing complicated. Very, very simple. So I'm gonna do my brows. So yeah, my camera stopped recording. That was really nice of it. Trying to figure out how much we missed. I put eyeliner on, you saw that I think, or at least part of it. Then I did my brows and I did them off camera, so you didn't really miss much with that. I used the Etude House Drawing Eyebrow Slim in grey brown and the MAC Eyebrow Styler in Stud, and I tried to keep them like not too crazy, not too bold, and I'm gonna put some brow gel in them in a bit, but I'm not gonna make them super fluffy because, like I said, I don't want to go with any like really big trends that are gonna like age badly. So then I did lips. I used the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat in Pillow Talk and the Clinique Lip Pop Lip Color Plus Primer in Nude Pop. That's the lip. Okay, that's all we missed. I mean, that was annoying, but we survived. This is a really, really nice lipstick. I love the lip pop color, lip pop color and primers. They're really nice if you have dry lips. They go over dry patches really, really well. Although I also did prep my lips. I prepped them with the Clinique All About Lips lip cream, and this is really nice because it kind of really like sinks in and deflates. Yeah, it says on it deflates. Yeah, it really, really does get rid of dry patches on the lips. Okay, drama over. What were we gonna do next? Oh, we were gonna do setting spray. So I have the Urban Decay All Nighter. Classic if you want your makeup to last a long time. A bit of an aggressive spray on this bottle, but never mind. Now we're going, ooh, not mirror. Now we're going to curl the lashes, and I like to use a heated one. This is just one I got off Amazon a really long time ago, and it has like a little heated wand here. It's a USB chargeable, so I just plug it into my computer to charge, and then I'm going to put this on and let it heat up for a second, and then I'm going to curl my eyelashes with it. Got a little bit of little dots of setting spray just still drying on my face. Okay. Oh, it's not hot enough yet. While it heats up, I'm actually going to do my brow gel just because it's taking ages to heat up. This is the Apu Skinny Brow Cara. What shade is this? It's in Korean, so I don't know what shade it is. I think it's like a grey brown. And I really like this because I love the brush on it. Like, you just kind of can't make a mistake because this brush is so tiny. So if you have thinner brows, this is just great because it just doesn't like get on your skin in a blob, it doesn't mess up. And if you're doing your wake up, your wedding makeup, then you don't want to be dealing with having made a mistake, fucked something up, excuse my language, and then having to go back and like fix it. It doesn't give like crazy hole. It's not going to do that like really fluffed up brow thing like the NYX Stick It Fix the NYX Stick It Fix It Stick, I don't know what it's called, you know the one, the like newer NYX brow gel. I like that when I'm doing like the fluffy brow thing. It's really nice. But for today I'm using this one for just a more soft, nothing crazy kind of brow. Okay, hopefully the eyelash curler is now heated up. Yep, feels warm. So I'm just going to press it at the base of the eyelashes to get them to go up a bit. And I'm going to fast forward through this for you because it is a little bit time consuming. It definitely takes longer than a manual curler. But personally with a manual curler, I always pinch my skin in it. Like, I'm just really bad at using them, so I prefer this. Okay, now that my eyebrows are Okay, now that my eyelashes are standing up to attention, we're going to go in with mascara. And you know what I said about going on the back of your hand or a palette or something like this when you're doing your makeup and you really want it to look really nice and it's a special occasion or something? Same applies with mascara. I'm not going to apply it with the actual mascara wand, I'm going to apply it with a separate wand. And this is because really you get too much product on this mascara wand. And if you apply it to a different one, and I'm just going tap, 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 tap. You get less product, more control. Your lashes don't get all clumped together. Oh, this is the Kiko Maxi Mod, by the way. Not the waterproof version. Tried the waterproof version and it was nothing like the original version. It kind of sucked, so don't get the waterproof one. I'm going to put waterproof mascara over the top of this in a second. So that's 2 coats of the Maxi Mod mascara. And then because I want something waterproof, I'm going to take the Kiko Luxurious Lashes Waterproof Mascara. And I'm going to pop this over the top. And again, take the clean side of my little mascara wand, get product on there, and then add this on top. Okay, and I actually didn't put any mascara on my lower lashes because as much as I do actually like the kind of heavy upper and lower lash mascara, I feel like it also can close your eyes. So for me, just having a little eyeshadow on the lower lash like this and mascara on the top lash is fine. If you don't like that, you can put lower lash mascara on, obviously, but this is just preferred for me. And yeah, we're done. We're done. That's pretty much, yeah, that's it. I wasn't prepared for it to be over then. I was like, what do I do next? I was like, oh, there's nothing. I've finished. So this was the look I wore for my wedding, on my wedding day. This is kind of what I would consider quite classic bridal makeup. I mean, not for every culture, but for, like, you know, the UK kind of English bridal makeup. I don't know. Like, I've been to Hindu weddings. Obviously, the makeup style is completely different, but traditional, in for my culture anyway, kind of makeup look. And it's just a makeup look that is going to photograph really nicely. None of these products are going to cause you any flashback. It's going to photograph beautifully. It's going to look subtle. You're just going to look like yourself in photos. The makeup is not going to be standing out like this big feature. It's not going to be makeup that people are really looking at or commenting on. It's just going to be something that fades into the background and makes you look really beautiful. So that was everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!